Have you ever had a season where it felt like life was deliberately targeting you? Where every time you tried to stand up, something else knocked you back down? Have you ever caught yourself thinking, half joking and half crying inside, is there some invisible curse on me? And if yes, how do I get it off my back? Welcome back to the channel. My friend, I am really glad you are here, especially if you are listening with a tired heart. Today we are going to talk about two very simple lines that many people repeat when their life is not going well. At first glance they sound almost too soft compared to the hardness of reality. But if you really understand them and live with them, they can change the way you carry misfortune. And over time, they can also quietly change your destiny. The first line is "This all is like a dream." The second line is "This let karma unfold and dissolve." Maybe you have seen these sentences on social media, in spiritual books, or heard them from elders. Maybe you have felt an instant resistance. When your heart is breaking or your bank account is empty, being told it is all like a dream can feel like an insult. When you are drowning in problems, being told just let karma unfold and dissolve can sound like a lecture telling you to lie down and accept your fate. But that is not what these lines are really about. They are not magic spells that erase your problems in one night. They are not slogans for lazy people to avoid responsibility. They are keys that open a different way of relating to pain, to bad luck, to your own past, and to the law of cause and effect that shapes your future. In this long, story-based talk, we are going to sit together and look at these two lines from the inside. We will follow people through heartbreak, financial collapse, illness, and long stretches of bad luck, watching how their minds move when they forget these lines and how their minds slowly shift when they begin to live with them. We will talk about impermanence, karma, effort, practice, and destiny, but always in the language of real life. You do not need to believe anything blindly. Just let your own experience walk beside these stories. If some part of you feels, "Yes, I know that place," then you will know you are not alone. Let us begin with the first line, the one that sounds poetic but can be hard to swallow when bills are due and relationships are breaking. All is like a dream. Imagine a man named Daniel. In his 20s, he had what many people would call a golden period. He had a job he liked, a partner he loved, weekends full of fun and friendship. He would sometimes stand on his balcony at night, looking over the city lights, and think, "This is it. I have made it. Life is finally stable." He did not say it out loud, but a quiet belief formed inside him this will last. Then life moved. The company he worked for was bought. A new manager came in with new rules. The team atmosphere soured. Within a year he was laid off. Shortly after that, his partner, under her own stress, began to distance herself. One evening at a cafe, she told him, with red eyes, "I still care about you, but I am not in love with you anymore." He walked home alone that night under a sky that suddenly looked colder. Over the next months, he sent out job applications and got almost no responses. He scrolled through pictures of his ex with her new life and felt a mix of anger, hurt, and shame. One night, lying on his bed, he stared at the ceiling and muttered, "It was all a lie. That whole happy time was fake. If everything just disappears, what is the point of anything?" It was at this low point that an old friend visited and brought him a book on spiritual teachings. Daniel rolled his eyes at first. "Do not give me quotes right now," he said. But later that night, unable to sleep, he opened the book anyway. One line quietly hooked his attention. "All experiences are like dreams in the night. Sweet or bitter, they all pass when you wake up." He wanted to slam the book shut. Easy for a philosopher to say. He thought, "My pain feels very real." But something in him was also tired of fighting. He kept reading. The book did not say, "Your suffering is fake. Get over it." It said something closer to this: "Your experiences are real while you are in them. You laugh, you cry, you ache, you care. but they do not stay. They are not solid. They do not define you forever. They are like scenes in a dream. The problem is not that the dream exists. The problem is that you keep insisting that the dream should not change. That one nice scene should last forever. That one painful scene should never have happened. Daniel put the book down and stared into the dark. He remembered his happiest nights with his ex, sitting on the floor eating cheap takeout, laughing until their stomachs hurt. He remembered the feeling of those moments. They had seemed so solid then. He had believed, without words, this is how life will be now. He also thought about all the things that had felt unbearable in his teenage years: exams, breakups, humiliation. At the time, he had thought, I will never get over this. But now, some of those memories felt like they belonged to someone else. He realized, quietly, that the line "all is like a dream" was not saying his love had been fake. It was saying that his insistence on turning that love into a permanent possession had been unrealistic. The same applied to his job. He had treated it as if it were a solid foundation, forgetting that companies, markets, and economies are all moving rivers. What made his pain so intense now was not only the actual loss, but also the shock that life dared to change his grip. As this understanding slowly sank in, another thought appeared: if happy periods are like dreams that pass, then so are bad periods. If he could not keep his perfect life forever, then he also did not have to stay stuck in this version of reality forever. All is like a dream does not mean nothing matters. It means nothing is fixed. This realization did not erase his grief. He still woke up missing his ex. He still felt fear when he opened his banking app. But each time his mind screamed, "This will never get better." He began to whisper back, "This too is like a dream. It is real now, but it is not forever." That small whisper worked like a crack in a dark wall. Through that crack, a little light began to enter. Over the next year, as he looked for work, he started to see patterns. Jobs he had worshipped from afar looked less stable up close. Friends he had envied were quietly collapsing inside. He realized that every honest solid life was more like a series of shifting dreams than a permanent castle. This recognition gave him, strangely, both humility and courage. Humility, because he could no longer feel superior when things went well. Courage, because when things went badly he could say, "This is not the final chapter." All is like a dream is not an excuse to be careless. It is a medicine for obsessive clinging. When you really let it soak into your bones, your grip on people, status, and even your own pain begins to loosen. Think of a time in your own life when you were absolutely certain that a particular situation would never change, for better or worse. A relationship you thought would last forever, or a humiliation you thought you could never live down. Now look at where you are. Maybe the relationship did end. Maybe you are okay in ways you never imagined. Maybe the humiliation became a story you can even laugh about. The dream changed. You woke up into a new scene. Remembering that all is like a dream does three important things when life is not going well. First, it stops you from making your current misfortune your whole identity. Instead of saying, "I am a failure," you can say, "I am going through a failing season." Instead of, "I am cursed," you can say, "I am walking through heavy karma." That shift in language is small, but it keeps a window open. Second, it reduces hatred and revenge. When you deeply feel that everyone is acting and reacting inside their own dream of fear, desire, and confusion, you may still set boundaries and protect yourself. But your heart does not have to be eaten alive by rage. You see others also as prisoners of their patterns, not as permanent villains. Third, it makes you more awake in the present. Paradoxically, when you know that something will not last, you cherish it more while it is here. You appreciate good days without taking them for granted, and you endure bad days without believing they are endless. Now let us turn to the second line: let karma unfold and dissolve. This phrase is often misunderstood as, Do nothing. Lie down. Accept everything. Do not try to change anything. But that is not its real meaning. To understand it, you need to remember what karma actually is. Karma is not a cosmic judge punishing or rewarding you. Karma is cause and effect. It is the natural echo of what has been done, said, and felt by you and by others, now and in the past. When the phrase says, "Let karma unfold and dissolve," it is not telling you to love suffering. It is telling you to stop fighting reality at the level of "this should not be happening," and instead to meet reality with wisdom and responsibility. Imagine a woman named Claire. For many years, she borrowed money carelessly. She believed that as long as she could make minimum payments, she was fine. She used credit cards to impress others, to buy things she did not need, to avoid facing emptiness inside. When bills came, she pushed anxiety away by telling herself, "Everyone is in debt. It is normal." One day, the structure collapsed. Her income dropped suddenly. Interest rates rose. Late fees piled up. She began to receive calls from banks and letters from lawyers. Her first reaction was panic and denial. She cried, "Why is this happening to me? Life is unfair. I am unlucky." At that moment, a spiritual friend said quietly to her, "This is karma unfolding. These are the fruits of seeds you have been planting for a long time. You can keep asking, 'Why me?' Or you can ask, 'What can I learn and how can I respond now, so that this karma dissolves instead of getting worse?'" At first, those words stung. She felt judged. But after several sleepless nights, she realized something. She could not outrun these debts. She could move cities, change phone numbers, but the constant pressure would follow her. So she decided to do something different. She sat down with all her statements and, for the first time, looked at the total honestly. It was painful. She saw, in black and white, the shape of her past choices. With the help of a counselor, she contacted each lender, explained her situation, and negotiated new payment plans. Some agreed to lower interest. Others insisted on strict terms. Every month, when she sent out payments, part of her wanted to cry over the money leaving her account. But another part felt a strange relief. "I am facing it," she thought. "I am no longer adding new debt. I am slowly clearing what I created." Simultaneously, she committed to changing her habits. No more impulse buying. No more using money to plug emotional holes. She learned simple joys that cost little: walking, reading from the library, cooking at home. Over several years, the mountain of debt began to shrink. It was not fun. There were many days when she felt she would never finish. But each time frustration rose and her mind screamed, "This is endless." She repeated to herself, "Let karma unfold and dissolve. I am not being punished by an unfair universe. I am giving back what I took with ignorance. Every payment is a brick removed from the wall." This phrase did not make the numbers disappear magically, but it turned her from a victim into an active participant in her own liberation. Let karma unfold and dissolve means I accept that what is happening now has causes. I may not see all those causes, but I will stop wasting energy on pretending it is random or unfair. I will meet this moment as a chance to balance. There is another story about a man named Jason, whose karma unfolded not in money but in relationships. In his 20s, he played with people's hearts. He enjoyed the thrill of being desired. He liked to keep several people interested at once, telling each, "You are special," while never committing. When anyone confronted him, he shrugged it off. "I never promised anything," he would say. He thought he was smart. Years later, he fell in love deeply with someone who touched his soul. For the first time, he wanted to build a real partnership, but his past caught up. His partner, sensing something, read old messages, talked to mutual friends, and discovered stories of his past behavior. She was torn. On one hand, he seemed sincere now. On the other, she feared being hurt the way previous partners had been. Eventually, she left, saying, "I cannot trust that you have really changed. I hope you do one day. But I cannot be the experiment." Jason was devastated. He wanted to scream, "But I am not that person anymore." A wise older friend listened to him and said, "Maybe you truly want to change now. But you cannot expect your past karma to simply vanish because you have a new intention. Those people you hurt, their tears, their confusion, their time, they do not disappear. They are part of the field. This breakup may be life letting you taste a part of what you gave to others. As a lesson, do not call it unfair. See it as karma unfolding. Let it humble you, soften you, and deepen your commitment to never treat anyone like that again." This was hard to hear. But in time, Jason realized that this pain had indeed cracked open his heart. He stopped seeing love as a game. He did not jump into new relationships immediately. He focused on healing his patterns, apologizing where he could, learning what true respect and honesty looked like. Years later, when he finally entered a new relationship, his way of loving was different. The first big test came when he was tempted by an old pattern, the attention of someone new. In that moment, he remembered the line, "Let karma unfold and dissolve." He realized that if he repeated old behavior, he would be planting more seeds of future pain. If he stayed faithful, even though it felt hard in the moment, he would be dissolving a little more of his old karma. He chose to stay faithful. That decision was not only about that day. It was a turning point in his destiny. For the first time, he was choosing to end a cycle rather than continue it. Let karma unfold and dissolve. Then, is not passive. It is a call to responsible acceptance and wise action. It has two movements. First, acceptance. You stop fighting reality with "this should not be." You stop insisting that life must obey your preferences. Second, transformation. You actively choose responses that do not create new harm, that repair where possible, that align with compassion, fairness, and wisdom. You let the old karma exhaust itself without adding fresh fuel. Now, how do these two lines work together when life feels like pure bad luck? Imagine a woman named Emily. In a span of 2 years, she lost her job, her partner left, her mother fell ill, and her own health showed worrying symptoms. She felt like she was underwater, only occasionally reaching the surface to gasp for air. Her mind repeated two phrases: "Why is this happening to me? And it will always be like this." A spiritual mentor suggested she work with the two lines we are talking about. When she heard them, she reacted like many do. All is like a dream. My mother's illness is not a dream. My empty bank account is not a dream. And let karma unfold and dissolve. It sounds like giving up. But her mentor did not argue. He simply said, "You are already fighting so hard with reality. How is that working for you? Why not experiment for a while and see what these lines do in your actual experience?" Desperate and with not many options left, she agreed. She began with the first line. Whenever her mind started spiraling into "this will never end," she whispered, "All is like a dream." At first, it was mechanical, almost sarcastic. She did not feel it, but she kept going. Over time, she noticed small shifts. When her mind tried to replay every painful scene with her ex, she would catch herself and say, "This is a scene from a dream. It is over. Let it be. There is no need to watch it again every night." When she lay awake worrying about money, she would say, "This version of my life is not the only one. There were other versions before. There will be others later. This situation is intense, but it is not eternal." She still took practical steps, applying for work, cutting expenses, seeking help for her mother. The phrase "all is like a dream" did not replace action. It replaced obsessive, repetitive mental torture. Then she worked with the second line. When bills arrived and panic rose, she would say, Let karma unfold and dissolve. This did not mean ignore the bills. It meant these are consequences of many causes. Some mine, some others, some from the wider world. I will meet them as calmly as I can. I will not add self-hatred or blame to them. I will take responsibility for what is mine and let go of what is not. When her mother's illness progressed, a part of her screamed, "This is unfair. This should not be." Another part, trained by the line, said softly, "Life and death are part of the same river. People born must someday leave. My job is not to control that, but to be as present and loving if I can while she is here, and to care for myself when she goes." This loss, painful as it is also karma unfolding. If I meet it with love, maybe it will dissolve some deep fear inside me. In this way, the two lines became anchors. All is like a dream loosened her grip. Let karma unfold and dissolve guided her action. Months turned into years. Things did not suddenly become smooth. Her mother did pass away. She cried for a long time. She still had periods of anxiety about money and relationships. But something fundamental had changed in her posture toward life. She no longer saw herself only as a victim of bad luck. She saw herself as a soul walking through a series of dreams. Some sweet, some bitter, all temporary, all containing lesson. She saw her misfortunes as part of a larger balancing of causes and effects, not as personal insults thrown at her by the universe. As this shift deepened, her inner tension eased. Her decisions became clearer. She attracted different kinds of people. Opportunities began to appear, not because she had chanted magic words and bribed fate, but because her whole energy was less frantic and more grounded. This is how these two lines can, over time, shift your bad luck, not by changing the lottery numbers for you, but by changing the way you meet your karma, which in turn changes the karma you are creating for tomorrow. Think of a person who, when something goes wrong, immediately blames everyone, refuses any responsibility, refuses to learn, and thrashes around in resentment. They are likely to make the situation worse. Now think of a person who, when something goes wrong, feels the pain fully, acknowledges it, and then asks, "What is this showing me? What is my part in this? How can I respond in a way that does not create more harm?" Their outward luck may look similar at first, but over years, the second person's life will almost certainly feel less heavy. They will slowly step out of repeating the same painful patterns. That stepping out is what many people call changing destiny. Now, how can you practically use these two lines in your own life when things are not going well? You can treat them like gentle reminders, not rigid commandments. When something shocks you, like a sudden loss or betrayal, your first reaction will still be emotional. That is human. Once the first wave passes, you might sit somewhere quiet, put your hand over your heart, and say, "All is like a dream." This moment feels huge, but it is not the only truth of my life. Many scenes have come and gone. This one will too. You can then ask, if this is a dream, what is it showing me about my attachments, my expectations, my illusions? When you are facing the consequences of a past mistake, like debt, broken trust, or neglected health, and your mind wants to escape, you can say, "Let karma unfold and dissolve. Running will make it worse. I will stand here. I will pay what I can, repair what I can, and accept what I cannot change," without adding layers of self-hatred. You might even turn these lines into a small daily practice. In the morning, you can sit for a few minutes, breathing in on doubt, saying internally with each breath, "All is like a dream. Let karma unfold and dissolve." On the in-breath, you remember that nothing is fixed. On the out-breath, you let go of resistance and open to wise action. Over time, these words will move from your mouth into your bone. They will not make you passive. On the contrary, they will help you act from a calmer, clearer place. When someone hurts you, you will still protect yourself, but you may not feel the same burning desire to destroy them. When you succeed, you will still enjoy it, but you may not cling as desperately, knowing that this scene, too, is part of the dream and will pass. When you fail, you will be able to say, another scene, instead of, the end. When heavy karma shows up, you will be able to say, this is hard, but it is also an opportunity to balance and free myself from old chains. Instead of, I am cursed forever. Let us also be honest about something. Sometimes, when people first hear these lines, they misuse them. They may say, all is like a dream, so nothing matters, and use that to justify harming others or being careless with responsibilities. Or they may say, let karma unfold, and use that to justify not helping, thinking, if that person is suffering, it is just their karma. These are misunderstandings. If you really feel that all is like a dream, how can you intentionally create nightmares for others? If you really understand the law of karma, you know that harming others now will bring suffering back to you later. True understanding of these lines makes you more compassionate, not less. When you see someone else suffering, instead of thinking, that is just their karma, you think, they are in a dream of pain now, just as I have been and will be. If I can do something to ease it without creating more harm, that will be good karma for both of us. When you see someone behaving badly, instead of labeling them as pure evil, you recognize they are trapped in their own karma. They cannot see clearly. I need to protect myself and others, but I do not need to fill my heart with hatred. This does not mean you excuse injustice. It means you respond to it from a deeper, more stable place. Now, I want to speak directly to you, beyond concepts. Maybe right now you are in a season that feels like nothing but bad luck. Maybe you have lost work, health, love, money, or all four. Maybe you wake up and your first thought is, not again. If so, these two lines are not asking you to pretend you are fine. They are inviting you to hold your pain in a larger frame. When you whisper, all is like a dream, you are not denying your hurt. You are gently reminding yourself that the story is not over, that your current nightmare is not the entire definition of who you are. When you say, let karma unfold and dissolve, you are not giving up. You are shifting from fighting reality to collaborating with reality to free yourself. You are saying, I will not waste my energy screaming at the river for flowing. I will learn to swim. I will learn which logs I can grab, which rocks I must avoid, and when to relax and let the current carry me around a bend I cannot see yet. If even one part of you can say yes to that shift, even a small yes, that is enough to begin. Start where you are. Perhaps tonight, before sleep, you place your hand over your chest and say quietly, today was hard. My heart hurts. But all is like a dream. May today's scenes fade. May tomorrow bring new ones. May my old karma unfold and dissolve as gently as possible. May I meet whatever comes with more awareness and compassion than I did yesterday. You do not need to feel anything dramatic. Just say it with sincerity. Do it again tomorrow, and the next day, over weeks and months. You may notice that when something goes wrong, your first thought slowly shifts from, why me, to, here is another scene in this dream. How do I want to play my part this time? That change in question is a sign that your consciousness is awakening. Awakening is not a sudden blast of light that solves all problems. It is the gradual transformation of the way you see and respond. When your vision changes, your destiny, little by little. Before we finish, I invite you to reflect on your own story. Is there a particular memory that still feels like an open wound every time you think about it? How might the idea that all is like a dream soften its edges? Not by erasing it, but by reminding you that you have lived many scenes since then, and you will live more. Is there a current situation where you know, deep inside, that you are facing the consequences of past choices? How might the phrase "let karma unfold and dissolve" help you stop running and meet it with honesty and courage? If you feel comfortable, you can share some of your reflections in the comments. You might talk about a time when remembering impermanence helped you through loss, or a time when accepting responsibility instead of blaming fate helped you grow. Your story might be the exact medicine someone else needs tonight. And if this long talk gave you some comfort, some clarity, or even just one useful sentence, I warmly invite you to support this channel. You can subscribe, turn on notification so you do not miss future deep dive videos. Click like if this sharing helped you, and leave your thoughts below. If you feel called and your situation allows it, you can also join as a channel member. That support helps us keep creating long, sincere content about awakening, wisdom, cause and effect, compassion, practice, and destiny in a world that often prefers noise and distraction. Thank you for staying with me all the way to the end. May you remember, in your darkest nights, that all is like a dream and that even the heaviest karma can unfold and dissolve when met with awareness and love. May you find the strength to stop fighting reality, the courage to take responsibility for your part, and the gentle joy of discovering that, step by small step, your way of meeting life can truly shift your destiny.
At the end of the day, we all need something that brings us back to ourselves. Something that reminds us to slow down, breathe, and stay centered. Simple bracelet can do exactly that. Every bead you touch brings your mind back to calm, back to clarity, back to the present moment. If one of the bracelets you just saw resonates with you, you can find the purchase link in the video description and explore more beautiful styles in our channel store. Let the one meant for you find its way to your wrist.